All right, thank you guys. Welcome to our NBA video here today for Wednesday, May 26th. Happy hump day to you. The weekend's right around the corner. My name is Brock Page and I do sports picks for free right here on YouTube. And if you want to see which one of these YouTube picks I'm actually betting on personally here today, don't forget to check me out on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage. Now guys, I'm feeling great this morning because we are coming fresh off a 4-1 day in our 5 premium sports picks on my Patreon website yesterday. And that's going to put us at 64% in our last 11 $1.99 daily best plays on that Patreon page. And if you want to access today's $1.99 daily best play, that's right, it's only going to cost you just $1.99. We currently have over 1,225 members who are signed up and active on that site. And if you want to join those folks and get in on the action, link for that page is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. And with that, let's go ahead and dive into it. We're going to start with the Wizards taking on the Sixers, 7 p.m. Eastern start time. The Philadelphia 76ers are -8, totals 230.5. And despite that sneaky backdoor cover by Washington in Game 1, I do think the Sixers are going to be able to cover this rather large number here tonight. Certainly going to be some adjustments. It was a thorough win, but I think they can do better. And to start, they've been excellent at home this season. 30 wins to just 7 losses at the Wells Fargo Center, and they successfully covered the point spread in over 62% of those contests. The Sixers also scored a ton of points at the Wells Fargo Center this year as well. They're in the top 5 in the league in home scoring, 118 points a game when they're in South Philly. Now, Tobias Harris had 37 points in Game 1. He averaged nearly 20 a game in the regular season, along with 6 rebounds and 3.5 assists. Meanwhile, the big man, Joel Embiid, he averaged 28.5 points a night in the regular season himself. He had 30 in Game 1, along with 6 boards and 3 assists. Now, the Sixers have beaten Washington in 8 out of their last 10 head-to-head meetings. They also lead the entire NBA in fewest first-quarter points allowed at home. They're taking on a Washington club who's really struggled on the road this season. Out of their 38 road games, the Wizards have gotten the W just 15 times. Washington also gives up more points than any other team in the NBA. They're dead last in the league defensively in points allowed. Now, Washington is currently giving up 119 points a game, and they rank dead last in fourth quarter points allowed as well. Now, when it comes to the total on this one, Washington saw their last 2 straight get over the line, 60% to the over in their last 10. Meanwhile, the Sixers went 3-0 to the over in their last 3 straight themselves, 22-15 to the over at the Wells Fargo Center. I'm going to lean toward the Philadelphia 76ers -8 in the over 230.5. Next matchup, it is going to be Hawks versus the Knicks, 7:30 East. The New York Knicks, are -2, numbers 212.5. And although the Knicks have been outstanding on the defensive end of the court this season, I'm just not sure they have enough offensive firepower to get the job done in the postseason. Their two leading scorers, Julius Randle and R.J. Barrett, they both combined for just 29 total points in Game 1. Really kind of got away from their bread and butter with regard to scoring. As a matter of fact, it was Alec Burks and D. Rose who led the Knicks in scoring during Game 1. New York also shot just 33% from beyond the arc and only 73% from the stripe. They're taking on an Atlanta team who's done a real nice job of rebounding this season. And as a matter of fact, they've picked up 42 total boards in Game 1, mostly thanks to Clint Capella, who had 13 on the night. They also had a stellar scoring performance by Trae Young, who dropped 32 points in his playoff debut, along with 7 rebounds and 10 assists. I like how he hit that last-minute shot, and he just told the crowd to be quiet. Gotta love it. Anyway, Bogdan Bogdanovic, he also had 18 points himself, along with 4 rebounds and a couple of steals. Now, total-wise, 5 out of Atlanta's last 9 did get over the number, throwing out game 1 of this very series. They're also 19 and 17 to the over when they travel, once again excluding their most recent ball game. Meanwhile, the Knicks went 60% to the over in their last 10 meetings with Atlanta, barring the results of game 1. I'm going to lean toward the underdog, Atlanta Hawks, +2 in the over 212.5. And with that, guys, now we're going to jump into our next and final matchup for the show. Grizzlies versus the Jazz, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Utah Jazz are -9, totals 219. Now, the Jazz were stunned in game 1, being held to just 109 points in a series-opening loss. The Jazz have also struggled to cover the point spread here recently, just 2-4 ATS in their last 6 outings. Now, there are a few, there are few bad spots for this Utah team, although they have failed to cover the number in 5 out of their last 10 meetings with Memphis. And this Utah defense, they also rank in the bottom half of the NBA in fourth quarter points allowed. Now, Ersan Ilyasova, he's listed as questionable for tonight's action. Donovan Mitchell upgraded to probable as well. Utah's taking on a Memphis team who's really turned it on here recently. They're currently on a 3-game winning streak, and they also got the W in 8 out of their last 9 contests. Now, the Grizzlies actually play their best basketball on the road. They're 22 and 16 straight up when they travel, and they also successfully covered the point spread in over 63% of those contests. The Grizzlies have also done a real nice job on the offensive boards. They're in the top 5 in offensive rebounding on the road. Now, Dillon Brooks, he had 31 big points in game 1, 7 rebounds, couple assists for the forward. Meanwhile, Ja Morant dropped 26 on Utah in his last game himself, 4 rebounds, 4 assists for Ja. Now, this Memphis team is one of the better road scoring teams in the NBA. They're averaging nearly 117 points a night when they travel, and they also rank in the top 5 in the game in road scoring. Now, total-wise, Memphis saw their last 2 straight get over the line, 24 and 14 to the over as the away team. Meanwhile, the Jazz saw 5 out of their last 8 get over the posted total themselves, 60% to the over in their last 10 meetings with Memphis. I'm going to lean toward the Memphis Grizzlies +9, keeping this one close, and the over 219. And with that, guys, now it's time for our quick pick recap, powered to you by my Patreon website. I like Philadelphia -8 over 230.5. Atlanta Hawks +2 over 212 and hook. And before I give you my next and final free pick for the video, one final reminder that we went 4-1 in our 5 premium sports picks on my Patreon website yesterday. That's going to put us at 64% in our last $11.99 daily best plays on that Patreon page as well. I'm going to lean toward the Memphis Grizzlies +9 in the over 219. And once again, guys, if you found yourself really enjoying this video here today, please feel free to give it a thumbs up by smashing that like button. And if you're new here today or this week, please feel free to welcome yourself to the family by hitting that subscribe button as well. I'd love to connect with you on a daily basis. With that, guys, now it's time to jump into our shout-outs to our top 10 YouTube commenters over the past couple of days or so. So without any further ado, got to give a shout-out to Cream City, Blaine Medvick, Isaiah Tanner, Joshua Printer. Also want to give a shout-out to Dollar Bills, Zamunda Futuristic, Eddie Armstrong, Young Shard. Shout-out to Little Big People. And last but certainly not least, got to give a shout-out to my good friend, Darrence Robinson. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on Patreon. If you guys end up getting a package here today, just keep in mind, Patreon's going to bill you the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, happy Wednesday to you. Happy hump day to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.